Okay, so it seems like we're talking about an old VTuber that essentially got in some drama a couple of months ago, and you guys probably know who I'm talking about. It's Gumpai. Now, Gumpai has had many videos made about them, and you guys probably know what happened. Now, if you want a full detailed, in-detailed look, I definitely recommend checking out Mujin's video or Rima's video, or literally any of these videos that are out here, because again, they cover, pretty much the initial drama that happened with them originally around about 7 months ago. But essentially, it just keeps getting worse and worse, as it seems like they are now back and they're now trying to profit off of, the kind of popularity of this entire situation. As Mujin's video got 2.4 million views, again, it got very well received. Obviously, people were seeing, what was going on. Everyone was making fun of them. Now, if you don't know essentially what went on, I'll give you the TLDR. Essentially, Gumpai, at least in this video in particular, the Mujin covers, there's probably other situations went on with them too, but in this particular situation, Gumpai was attacking someone over on Twitter who was like an indie kind of plushie maker, and essentially what happened was they were saying that they were stealing it, and they were making a kind of a knockoff version despite them not having any version in the first place. And this person went into their server and essentially decided to promote this product as they had some spare ones from a fan commission. And essentially, they got banned from the server, I'm pretty sure. And then she went ahead and called them out on Twitter, which obviously, it was just a fan. It was just someone who makes these kind of things in the VTuber community that wanted to hand them out to people that obviously are fans of Gumpai. And I mean, they went ahead and attacked them, said they were doing all sorts of stuff, which again was absolutely unhinged, especially as someone who's making, fan-made stuff for you. I mean, obviously maybe they could have handled it in a better way in terms of maybe they got some self-promotion rules, but I think Gumpai definitely went way too overboard on it and ended up getting ratioed by community notes constantly. Community notes were constantly on their tweets and things, kind of correcting things, which Gumpai was not happy about. And essentially it kind of then evolved into even more stuff like racism and some stuff they're talking about, I think they're from Vietnam, saying that, obviously they could afford certain stuff by doing other things. It's just so weird. They started, pretty much just going into their culture, and they also just straight up said that the VTuber community was R-wording them, which obviously is a figure of speech. They weren't literally doing that, but that's apparently how they felt, which is kind of a crazy thing to say on Twitter, I'm gonna be honest. But essentially, why are we making this video today? Well, pretty much there's been some news of Gumpai popping up over and over again, and this one was actually made on June 19th, where their account actually came back and said, breaking news, Gumpai has once again made her Twitter account public. What will be next in her story? Will she stay on the dark side, or will she come back to the light? Will there be more videos made about her? We will see. Side note, Mujin, why are you following her, lol? So I think Mujin just wants more content. I'm going to be completely honest. Following her and seeing what she gets up to, I think, that's probably one of the best things that Mujin can do to keep in the loop of this kind of thing. But essentially as well, the worst part is that this came out recently. Now, Gumpai's account is actually currently deleted, at least for me. I can't find it anywhere on Twitter, but essentially just the other day, they said Gumpai is selling her dog girl VTuber model for 2.2 thousand. Now, this obviously is, the iconic one that we see in every single thumbnail on all of these videos. So it already has that attached to it. And yeah, it says they're selling this dog girl design for $2.2 thousand, and it comes with emotes, one model fully rigged with rebridger, one mascot model, one PNG tuber, art, skebs. Email me at here, PayPal only. So again, it's pretty crazy that they are trying to sell it, especially for that amount of money. I mean, they say, who the heck would want to buy a Menhera model of this girl who got cancelled for throwing a tantrum over a plushie? She would be getting around 100 to 500 bucks for that. Even by then, it's a stretch. It's like crashing a sports car and selling the wreckage. Does she really expect people to take a model that's thoroughly stained with her reputation? Which, yeah, is 100% true, Obviously, there's one side of things, it being I doubt, a VTuber model like this is even worth 2.2 thousand. Again, as I said, 100 to 500 bucks would probably be about the right thing. Obviously, it comes with some other stuff as well, which again, maybe you could argue is a little bit more, but I think 2.2 thousand is a little bit over the top, even just for a regular thing, not even considering the amount of damage and the amount of kind of a reputation loss this model has, gotten because of all of this drama. And then, then you add on the kind of weight of carrying this model and the weight of, the kind of past this model has had and the reputation it's had. well, no one's going to really want it, especially for 2.2 thousand. Now, people in the comments obviously saying, with this model, you too can be a GFE VTuber who makes her most loyal fans promise not to get into a relationship with any girl, IRL or otherwise. Send her pics to prove your loyalty and have it all crushed down when it is discovered you have a boyfriend, because this has actually happened to Gunpai. But to answer your question, hell no. Perhaps we need to learn an important life lesson. It's that being an independent VTuber means having a huge responsibility, and Gunpai took on the advantage of that. We should look at other cases like Yakarisu, Cinder, EVA, and Rakun as other examples. With great power comes great responsibility. So yeah, people saying, if I want a dummy VTuber model to test on, I'll go for that one VTuber model from the scandal from the South America a few weeks ago. I think it only costed $10, which again, there's a whole thing about that too. So last I saw this was when Asria was trying to sell his model, and some poor idiot thought that having a model with a history would mean more views and bought it. There's nothing good in it for anyone to buy a model connected to drama. Only thing I can think of is, one, to sell it to an artist who redesigns it and sells it to someone else, or two, put it on booth as a public model. Also, $2.2 thousand, yeah, no, you can get a really nice custom made model for that. Why on earth would you spend it on someone else's model? Which, yeah, is 100% true. I could see $2.2 thousand being a good amount of money for a custom model. Like, that's not even like considering A, the actual craftsmanship put into that model, and B, the fact that it's a pre-made one. It's not one where you get to choose it, and you can easily get a custom one for way less than that. Whenever I had a VTuber model, it cost me like, I think it was like £500, or like, that'd be about what, $700-ish. And I managed to get that fully custom. They made revisions, changes, and that was really, really easy. Whereas, $2.2 thousand for a model that you don't even get to decide what it looks like. I mean, yeah. Especially with all of the stuff added onto it. Say, my theory is Gunpai feels like this type of person who would sell the same package to several buyers if possible. It said, as long as she's open with it being a public model, that's about the only way I can see this selling to anyone thinking it through before they buy it. They said, probably should add Mujin's video for reference on the controversy. I don't know if anyone, if it's okay, so here we go. And they put a link to Mujin's video, which again, yeah. Mujin's video was the main one that brought a lot of attention over to, what was going on with Gumpai and what they've done in the past. And it's funny to see that there is all of this stuff still coming out. They said, after all she said and done, she has to be trolling. They said, might as well spend that money on some uranium. It'd be less toxic to your brand. I said, pity the model is cute, but it's been ruined by the asshole pilot. Doesn't surprise me she quitted, but since I can see her coming back regardless, she sells it or not. So yeah, obviously people are saying this is a very bad idea to sell this model, and I don't really know what Gunpai was thinking there. I'm assuming they were just trying to make a little bit of a quick cash on this kind of stuff, and I think they assumed that because this model is so like well renowned in the community, obviously not for a good reason, for a bad reason, that they thought that maybe it would sell and maybe people would pick it up. But I'm going to be honest, I think this is more of a driving factor away from it rather than, driving factor towards it. All it does is get people talking in Discord, not Discord servers, subreddits like this, where they're essentially saying, did you see she dropped a new model? That's so weird. That kind of thing. I feel like, that's the only attention you're going to get from this. You're not going to get any sales. You're not going to get any kind of people actually genuinely interested in this. All you're going to get is probably people, trying to scam you or whatever. I'm sure there's been a couple of people that have tried to maliciously contact them to I don't know, try to scam them out of something, because again, people are just that twisted whenever it comes to it. Despite what Gunpai has done, it's still not okay to do that. But I feel like there probably has been some people who have attempted to try and lowballer or whatever, which to be honest, if you're a lowballer, that's fair enough, because that is an outrageous amount of money for a VTuber model with that amount of baggage and that kind of craftsmanship in it. I don't know who the actual artist is. I mean, I don't know if they ever mentioned it on their actual Twitter page on who has done it. I feel bad for that person, obviously having to be kind of associated with Gunpai. But again, hopefully, they can find better work and can kind of move on from this, because again, it must suck having, the model that you worked on for someone else being sold off to some other person. But it seems like we haven't had any buyers. I haven't seen any news on anybody actually purchasing this. Maybe there might be someone funny out there who will do it and then maybe do something like stupid with the model. I don't really know. But again, yeah, it seems like nothing has really come from this, especially considering that their Twitter account is down again. I mean, I think this is just a common thing that Gunpai has been doing ever since a lot of these stuff has come out about them. I think they've just been, deactivating, reactivating quite a bit. And I think they've, had little spurts of like, oh, I want to come back. And then they're like, actually, maybe not. And then they, oh, I want to come back. Actually, maybe not. And I think it's just that on a big kind of like cycle. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on this and see if, she opens up in Twitter again. Okay, it might be quite likely, to be fair, honestly, considering the amount of times they've done it. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. Do you think it was a wise choice to try and sell this model? I mean, obviously, keyword try. I don't think they even sold it. Again, let me know what you guys think about the situation, because I'm very interested in what you guys have to say. And yeah, go over to GameStop, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking all their stuff out, because they got a ton of events on at the moment, which you guys should definitely check out. And yeah, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.